All right, so if this works, then I am recording to YouTube, and I would hopefully be able to post a link to that later. Um, I don't know if it'll work or not because this is the free version of StreamYard, so it's hard to tell what's going to happen. Anyway, I'm Robin. There's my name right there. Um, and I'm just practicing a lot with StreamYard and trying to learn all the things that you can do with it. Sometimes I've been live on Facebook and had a couple friends, watching it, but I'm still working all this out. I've had a business of my own for decades, since 2005, and some things I got really, really good at. Some things I didn't. Social media when I started out was just Twitter and Facebook and a little bit of YouTube. It wasn't all what it is now. And I had a Hootsuite account where you could post to multiple platforms at the same time. I was paying $5 a month for it, and I paid that up until about 2 years ago. And they sent a note that said legacy plans were going away, and they jacked it up to, I don't know, something like $60. And I didn't use it enough to pay $60. And I've got somebody going past the door. Maybe the mailman. That's my Ring doorbell going blink, 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 blink. Somebody's going past. Anyway, so I've worked with social media for a lot of years, but I just never have focused hard and down on it. Well, I shouldn't say never. I haven't done it for a long time. Okay, I haven't. I've just been doing barely enough to keep my accounts active, and that was it. But so with the Airbnb or the B&B, I kind of would like to get away from Airbnb being my primary scheduler or booking platform. I'd like to have more direct, because Airbnb takes a percentage from, well, actually they take multiple percentages from the traveler, from the guest, because they take a piece and they call it the guest fee, and then they take a piece from me and call it my fee. But it's not my money that's paying it, it's the guest's money that's paying it. So anyway, as I sit here and I'm stringing some beans because I'm behind in that. There's so many things here, it's crazy. I wanted to talk a little bit about the guests that just checked out about an hour ago. Checkout time at Holstein House is 9 o'clock unless there's some extenuating circumstance and there's nobody else coming in by 9 o'clock, I should say. I mean, people leave earlier than that. This was a young couple. I don't know if they were married. I don't ask if they're married. But the account that booked our room was for a young lady, probably in her 20s. Originally, her ethnicity is Chinese. She spoke fairly good English, so I don't know if she's been here a long time or what. But what she did was she booked the room for a single guest. And she did it through Instant Book, and you can do that with Airbnb, where if they meet certain criteria, which really isn't much, they just have to have a legal ID on file and have at least one other review, and it automatically books it. Of course, I can turn that off, but I have it on. Anyway, so she books the room Instant Book, and I send her a message back and say, oh, we'll be glad to host you for the night. Check-in is between 3 and 6 p.m. Checkout is at 9 o'clock. And if you have any issues, let me know. Well, she did send me a message that, oops, there's my dog. See, it's either the clock or there's a FedEx truck, or there's a dog barking. I'm sorry. So she She did send me a note that said they'd been in an accident. They curbed a tire and had to go to a garage to get it replaced. So I'm thinking in my head, curb the tire. Man, you must have really smacked that curb hard to take care of the tire. But okay, fine. And I noticed she said we. And I thought about it. And in her message, she said, we may not make it, we're not going to make it by 6, but we might make it by 8. Is that okay? Another thing that I have set with Airbnb on my side as a host is a very strict cancellation. And when you book instant book like the day or two before, you don't get your money back. You don't have, because I can't rent the room back out that short of turnover as a rule. I think I've only done it once. But anyway, so I repeated to her what she had said, and although it was there in writing, I said, so you messed up a tire and having to get it replaced, and that's what caused you to be here about 8 p.m. But you said we, and you only booked the room for one person. I don't charge extra for one guest because it's just the one room. It's a full-size bed, and there's really not a lot of extra expense for me if there's 2 people or 1. I said, please note that my check-in times are firm because we get up around 4 o'clock in the morning, which is true. Even on the weekends, it may not be 4 o'clock, but it's going to be before 6. So we get up really early. And so we go to bed early. So staying up till 10 or 11 o'clock at night to welcome people in is not an option. And I said, so just know that you are required to let people know that you have a second person, and you're supposed to give me their name. Well, she never gave me his name, really. And she responded back, okay, I understand. Thank you very much. Well, 8 o'clock comes and goes. About 6, 7 minutes after 8, they're still not here. I haven't heard anything from them. I'm thinking, oh, here we go. Am I going to get a free cancellation for people that can't get here and they just cancel? Because I'm not going to cancel. When the hosts cancel, it dings us. But I messaged her and I said, it's after 8, which the timestamp showed that it was. I have not heard from you. Are you going to be here or not? Or are you going to cancel? And probably 3 minutes later, she replied back that they had been in traffic for an accident for over an hour. Now catch this, they've been sitting in traffic for an hour. And so that means from at least 7 o'clock. So she's going to know she's not going to be here by 8 o'clock if she's still sitting in traffic. But she hadn't bothered to tell me that. So she said, can we just self-check? Can you leave a key for us to self-check? And I thought real hard on that. I do have a key box on the door, but I don't know these people. I haven't met them yet. And I usually don't give the key box combination out until I've met somebody, and if they're staying multiple nights. So I thought, probably about 15 minutes. 15 minutes. And I replied back, I will be up when you get here. Self-check-in is not an option. And they were here within the hours. I don't know where they were coming from. She did send pictures of an accident, and there were West Virginia license plates in the traffic in front of her. It looked like a coal truck had turned over. They said they were coming from New York, headed to Chicago. So they were probably coming down I-77. Well, she sent me a message that said, West North Charleston, 8 miles. So there's no West North Charleston. I'm not sure what you're telling me here. So when she was able, she sent me a picture of one of her GPS on their dashboard, and I could tell what she was missing. It said it said 64 West, which is Interstate 64, and 77 north, 8 miles from the point, where she snapped that image. So it says, oh no, that's the interstate you're about to get on. I understand now. It's okay. I'll be here. So I got to thinking in my head the map of what route they're traveling. They're coming from New York to go to Chicago. A bean pod or a bean seed flop over there. They're coming from New York to Chicago. So they're probably coming down 77. But I'm out of their way. To come to my place, they have to take 64 east, 15 miles. So they're going 15 miles out of their way to stay here. I think it's just I don't know. Why would you come 15 miles out? I mean, even if you want to stay at an Airbnb or stay somewhere, why would you get? But it's not me. It's them. It's their money. So I didn't get to talk to them really. They did come in, and Wayne had taken the dogs and gone to bed already. They came in about 10 o'clock, and I had one of the medicines I take at night makes me sleepy, so it's hard for me to stay up. So I showed them where the bathroom and everything was, and they were very quiet. So after that, it went just fine. So they get up this morning probably about 7:30, which is within reason. She comes down, says, "Can she take a shower?" Yeah, you can take a shower. He doesn't come down till probably 8:30, which is getting close to 9 o'clock. But they ate. I mean, I'm not complaining at the amount they ate because there was a lot there. They ate like they hadn't eaten in days. Cereal. Both of them had cereal, which is, and I'm not complaining. I'm just stating. Both of them had cereal. So they drank the milk, which is, it was out there for them. They didn't know, nobody drank any juice. Both of them ate some apples. Both of them ate a couple English muffins a piece of sourdough a piece, and a regular bread a piece, a couple of them. So, and a couple more, 3 or 4 cups of coffee. And it's all there and it's all fine. I have people who stay and just, they come in, they go to bed, they get up, they leave. They don't get coffee, they don't get, English muffins, they don't get bagels, they don't get any of that. So it ends up being processed into breadcrumbs for other stuff that I do. And this is, they haven't touched it. I want to make that clear. I'm not using stuff that people's had their hands on to make breadcrumbs. They'll, they leave and I've got the food sitting out. I'm not putting it back in bags. So they were a nice couple. I mean, she was very pleasant. They looked very, I don't want to say they looked clean, like they weren't nasty, dirty people, but they were both well dressed and tidy when they got here. So I go up, well, she left, and it was all printed in Chinese, and I don't read it. She left a face wash or a moisturizer or some kind of a little tube or something in the bathroom, and they hadn't pulled out yet. So I caught that and gave it to her. And so I went up to change the room over. And you always wear gloves, because you don't, as nice as people are, you don't know where they've been. Heck, they could have had the monkey box for all I know. So you don't want to touch stuff. You don't want to get it up your skin. So I've got, gloves, and I've got Lysol spray and stuff that I use in the room to clean, and I got the sheets changed and the duvet cleaned up and put back on, and Lysoled everything and tidied everything back up. And I go to get the trash can, and the trash can, bless their hearts, I think it was her pants, but somebody threw a pair of pants away. And you don't go through and dig that stuff out. So, but there were a pair of pants, and I swear I think they were the pants she had on when she came in. And what I suspect is, just a suspicion, is that one of them had an accident while they were sitting in that traffic. That's what I think. Because I know she went into the bathroom for quite a while after they got here, because I could hear her come back up the stairs when she got there. Bless their hearts. They were a young couple. I mean, I don't know that they have much worldly experience, but this is this is an example of some of the things that you run into when you're hosting out of your home, because a lot of these Airbnb people are just, taking like a rental unit, turning it into an Airbnb, and these people are staying in it thinking, oh, this is great, and all you're doing is renting a room. So if you come to hosting house, you're renting a room, but you're renting a room in our house, so it's kind of like, live like a local because you're living in a local's house. But it's fun overall. It was very aggravating not trying to communicate, but that she wasn't telling me that she wasn't coming. So I was not in a rush. I mean, I try to keep the house pretty tidy, but it's canning season, and I've been canning and I've been stringing beans. I had a bushel of beans I've been working on for days, and they're starting to get past their prime, so I've got to hurry up. So I've got kind of stuff scattered everywhere, and I'm trying to tidy that stuff up to be done by the time they would be here between 3 and 6. Well, then I find out later they're not going to be here till probably 8. So that took a little pressure off, but that meant that, I had to stay up a little later, and then, they're in a wreck. So, but overall, the point is that these folks aren't, these kids aren't communicating well, and I don't know if it's a cultural thing, but I don't really think it is, because I know there are quite a few adults. I don't want to say U.S. citizens because I don't know that they're citizens, but they've been here a long time, that will will book the room, and I don't hear from them when they get here, and they're kind of rude, not off the charts rude, but kind of rude, and they don't communicate, and then they expect, it's kind of this entitlement thing. I don't think I'm entitled to anything. I've worked really hard for what I've got, and I've made some hard choices for what I've got. Um, I've torn things down, relationship wise, and I've built things back up in different places. And there's no sense in being rude. No sense in being rude. But so this was a little bit of a ramble. Like I said when I started, I'm working on this. I want to try to cut this off at 20 minutes. I'm trying to learn StreamYard. I'm trying to learn the options that I have in the free version. I want to share my experiences as an Airbnb host, as a home host, they change the vernacular every so often, and it used to be a home share host. Now they're trying to call it a room share because I'm sharing a room in my house. But the point being is that it's the original idea, it's the original intent. I'm inviting people into my home to stay for a fee. Yes, for a fee. And but I'm giving them hospitality and sharing a little bit of our life with them, answering questions about the area. And some of the ones that stay, excuse me, some of the ones that stay more than a few days learn a lot, and maybe break some stereotypes about the area, maybe reinforce a few stereotypes about the area. But I'm gonna cut this. It's gonna be a little bit short of 20 minutes. I don't know if I'll be adding anything to it, if I can edit it, and I'm gonna see how it loads into YouTube, and if it did load into YouTube or stream to. I think streams were. So, but thank you. If you stop by and you see it, thank you very much. If you think that I've offered anything that you might be interested in down the road, if you thought about having hosting people out of your home, or if you thought about using Airbnb but aren't quite sure, hit the likes, hit the bells, hit all the whistles, the thumbs up, and all that happy stuff, Rumble and whatever else they do, so that you get future notifications and you can follow me. I'm going to try to make it better. I'm going to work real hard on making the streams better and giving you better information. So thank you for looking at it. And thumbs up if you will. Appreciate it. Thank you. Have a great day, and I'll see you the next time. Bye-bye.